Well, good morning, Pipers. Welcome back to the Bass Piper channel. And just wanted to come on here this morning. It's been about 2 weeks, I guess, since I've been on. And I wanted to get on here, guys, and finish up my little tobacco series. I told you I was going to eventually get to it. And so the time is now. And so I want to cover my English blends and American English, as they would say, blends. Now, most of y'all will know with English blends, those who smoke English blends, basically English blends are English blends. What do you mean, Bass Piper? Well, for me, and we know tastes are subjective, palates are subjective, but basically, you might have a few little variations, but Latakia is Latakia, Perique is Perique. You get into the, Virginias, the different mixes, but anything with Latakia, that really kind of sets off the English blend, and even the American English. They just have a little bit of different formation. Now, today, I'm not going to go through every tobacco and what every tobacco has in it. I have to have a list this long just to read everything to you. You can look those up. If you go to Boswell, you go to Smoking Pipes or whatever, look up the tobacco names and it'll tell you what's in it. But most all of these that I have, if not all of them, have got Latakia in it. And the Englishes kind of give you that campfire, barbecue, charcoal steak type of flavor or nuance in the air, and even while you're smoking it, you can get that campfire. There's a lot of people that don't like that. It's just like a lot of people don't like aromatics, and some people will say, well, you've smoked one aromatic, you've smoked them all, because the room note may change, but your taste, it's just tobacco. You might get a little bit of a little smidgen of a cherry if you're smoking cherry, or you're smoking mama's chocolate cake or whatever is out there. You get a little hint of cocoa. But those of us that on occasion smoke cigars and pipes, and no matter what your frequency is, you definitely know that cigars, of course, give you a bigger, broader nuance because of the fact of it's just more potent, the tobaccos and all of that. So you can pick up, if it's a Maduro cigar, you can pick up the cocoa or the espresso or the coffee notes, versus trying to pick it up in a pipe tobacco. That's very, very faint. In fact, you just about have to have a good polished palate to pick up the notes in pipes versus cigars, because cigars are more pronounced. But even with cigars, my palate has never been, I don't know if it's an age thing, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if, as we get older, we lose some of our taste buds and our tastes of how things are versus when we were in our 20s or in our teens. And so now that a lot of us are in our 50s and 60s and 70s and all, our things have changed a little bit. But it's kind of like you've heard me say on videos where, if you've been a cigarette smoker for years, then a lot of guys, not that you got to be a cigarette smoker, but a lot of guys love that burley, right? And pipes and all of that, because that's basically what Virginias and burleys is basically what a lot of cigarettes are made out of. It's just burley tobacco. So they're so into that burley. And where with me, it's like, now, if it takes the back seat, the caboose, that's great. But up front or in there, as I've said, when you've got the cigar aficionados call it the finish. Pipe smokers, basically, I just call it the aftertaste, okay? when you are tasting that for hours in your mouth or even a day or two. I like clean tobaccos. I like clean finishes, or like finishes that don't last very long. I mean, if it's an hour or so, but usually my regimen, and this is not a health video, but my regimen is after every cigar or every pipe where I can, and mostly I'm smoking here around the house. I don't go out and about to smoke. Once I go and jot my notes down or a little something, if I'm trying to keep notes, like with my cigars, if it's good, if it sucks, if, whatever it is. And I always put the dates that I smoke those, and I'm putting together, I got a little cigar Bible. It's called a cigar Bible. If y'all have ever watched Jeremy Sears' YouTube video, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, just look him up, Jeremy Sears. He has these Bibles. He has a whiskey Bible, which I'm not into that. And then he has a cigar Bible, they call it. And he's got the pages, and you can put your bands in them as you smoke them. You date them and you rate them and what tastes you get and all this kind of thing. Just kind of keep a record of it. But like a little journal. And so, but anyway, you know that cigars are more pronounced. You're going to get the notes. With the English pipe tobacco, it's charcoal steak, it's campfire, it's, that type of thing. And so what I'm going to give you here, I'm just going to give you like I was with the aromatics. I'm just going to let you know good, bad, or ugly. Okay? I really don't have any ugly, and to be honest with you, I probably ain't going to have that much bad to say about the English. But I'll start off with today. I want to start off with a couple of tobaccos I got recently, probably back at 22. You'll see me leaning in because I'm working off my table, and I'll have to come back and forth with things. But this is by Kramer, and it is called the Blend for Cary Grant. The Blend for Cary Grant. Can you see that? See if I can get my stuff to focus here. And this was in May of 22. The other one is who a lot of the pipers like this one. It's by Kramer, Father Dempsey. Father Dempsey. I'll get that thing in the camera. I'm trying to. Will it focus? You can get it to focus here. And I picked both of these up at the same time. They're kind of like American English and kind of along the lighter side of an English blend and taste. But very good tobaccos, guys, by Kramer. I don't think you'll find anything wrong with these at all. I tried one and stepped out a while back. This one I acquired in, set these down here so I don't get them mixed up, in 21. And I ordered this basically from, can't remember. But anyway, it's by Cornerstone, and it is the English Plug. The English Plug. Good tobacco, good English. I didn't get a lot because I wanted to just see what it was like. But this one here kind of surprised me. Cornerstone, I think they'd come out several years ago with a whole new thing of tobaccos. And man, I can't think of the company. I didn't look it up before I got on. If anybody knows who was really promoting this Cornerstone, let me know. I don't know if it was Smoking Pipes. I don't know if it was the company out there in Tennessee that has pipe shows. I can't remember. But anyway, that's what happens when you get old. Here's another one I acquired in 22. This one here is one, in fact, if you've been on Pat's channel, he just mentioned something about STG has acquired is it McBaron? And so if they've acquired McBaron, they've also got Sutliff, if you haven't heard. But he was just mentioning that this week on his channel. So that also means, guys, that there won't probably be no, probably the Sutliff in Richmond, the pipe show in Richmond, where we had the Sutliff tours. They probably won't be anymore if this happens. And it sounds like it evidently is going to happen. And he mentioned this particular blend and some other blends that might go by the wayside. I hope it don't. But the more we find out about things, this one might be gobbled up before everything is changed over. And that is Distinguished Gentleman. Distinguished Gentleman. I believe Pat mentioned this one on his video. I hope I'm not getting it wrong, but I think this was one of them. Pat, if you see this video, correct me in the comments, buddy, and I apologize if it's not this one, but this one here is a good one for an American English. Got a nice room note. In fact, the ones I've showed you all have got nice room notes. They don't have really strong room notes that I have found. And I have smoked these on videos in this room with my rabbit air going, and didn't find a major problem at all. I acquired this one back in last year, October of last year, when we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, me and my wife, me and Miss Bass Piper, and I went by the Gatlin Burrier and was trying to go see old Dreg Tiger. And of course, you heard me say the 2 days we were down there in the Gatlin Burg area, that we were in the mall and all of that part of it, he was off both days. So go figure. Couldn't get to meet up with him. But I picked this one up. It's their blend called Chimney Smoke. Chimney Smoke. See if you can see that. Chimney Smoke. And a good English blend, and dark English blend. And like I said, it's good. Not a problem. I don't think you'll have anything. This one came a little bit, the nuance on it was a little bit, the room note was a little bit stronger, as you could probably tell by Chimney Smoke. But, and of course, how dark it is. But this one here is another good blend to check out by the Gatlin Burrier. When I make and edit this video and put the iMovie to all of this, I'm going to try to, I might have to do it in my title or something, to find out about Cobblestone, who I got that one from, and I'll let you know if I find it. I'll keep you up on that. Here's a couple of others that I got. They're still in tins. I picked this one up at the Sutliff show, a pipe show in Richmond in October of 2019. And this one's called, a lot of you guys may have this one or have had it, Crumble Cake, English 1. Crumble Cake, English number 1. I haven't even popped a 10 on this one yet. This is as I bought it. Okay? So it's going on, what, 5 years old now. Over 5 years old. You probably see these are ones that you see back. You see this shelf right here? You'll see on my video. I pulled both of these off of that shelf. Here's another one that is a very good blend. And it's called, I got this one in 22, called Presbyterian Mixture. A lot of you guys know what that one is, right? In fact, this was made for a Presbyterian preacher back in the day. This was the actual blend, as the story goes, that it was made for him, blended by the authority of Charles Preston in London. And he was a Presbyterian minister. Now, this one hasn't been open. And this is the only second one that I've got of Presbyterian since 2017, when I started tinkering back with pipes and things of that nature. If you remember way back, probably somewhere in 2020, somewhere in there. I had I had some Presbyterian that I tried, smoked it twice. In fact, I smoked it in my Ron Smith, one of my Ron Smith pipes. And, hey, bass piper, put your hat back on. I can't see you. All right, let me do that. I had to scratch my head. Me and Miss Bass Piper went on vacation. Come back. And about a week later or so, I went to go to my jar, one of my little jars that I had Presbyterian in. And I noticed that the jar, the tobacco, went from this to that. And I'm going, what in the world is going on? I know I hadn't smoked it, and has somebody been in the house since I've been gone and just wiped out my Presbyterian? No, as you remember, it got tobacco bugs had come alive in this, and in that jar. And so I got on the phone to Smoking Pipes. I'd never experienced it before. They didn't even know what a tobacco bug was. And I'm saying, hey, there's something. And the more I picked the jar up, it seemed like the tobacco was moving. And I'm saying, okay, what's going on here? And so I got on there with one of the guys Smoking Pipes. He said, no, sir. He said, you got tobacco bugs. He said, get you a white paper towel, go to your kitchen, open up your jar, pour the tobacco out a little bit, and see if you don't see them. And sure enough, they were having a field day, man. What had happened when we went off, we usually set our thermostat to be a little warmer in the house. So the air condition, is not, it's just during the summer, is not keeping it that cold while we're away. We had the away temperatures on. And it was right around the 72, 73, somewhere in there, probably about 74 maybe. And whatever it was, that lava, they hatched. So yes, tobacco bugs are real. And heat plays a lot. You ain't got to worry so much about humidity, especially with pipes. With cigars, you're dealing with humidity and temperature, but temperature is your killer. Temperature is what the bugs love. Whether it's a little dry or moist, that's immaterial, but when it gets dropping, it starts heating up. If it's got anything. Now, for the most part, guys, I found out with my cigar journey, your cigars usually, and even with pipe tobacco, you don't have a real big problem with tobacco bugs a lot. But I know with cigars, a lot of your main premium hand-rolled cigar companies, they freeze their cigars. They freeze their tobacco, their cigars when they, to get rid of any tobacco bugs or lava or anything like that could sprout up. So that if it does get a little warmer, you ain't got to worry about it. But if there are some that have cut corners or some that didn't really do a good job with cigars, you start seeing the holes in your cigars, With tobacco, you got to be kind of careful, because if it's in a jar and you notice there's been a drop, pick that jar up, and what I do, now this is let me get one that's a little lighter. For example, like this, and I'll just lay it to the side, I'll shake it and let it settle. And see if you got anything, if you got movement going on, for about 5, 10, 15 seconds, you might want to check it out. Because that tobacco ain't moving on its own. Now, it will settle a little bit. But if you're holding it still and you're seeing some movement, you might have some bugs. So, Presbyterian, said all that to say this. Good blend. Good English, good campfire smell with this one. I think you'll like this one if you haven't tried it. All right, I had 12 tobaccos, and I'm down to my last five. And all these, you can bet who they're from. Boswell. Let me show you some Boswell. First English I ever tried was this one right here. This is from 18. This is a full canister that I haven't got into. And I've been cellaring this. And this is mild English. If you're new to Englishes and want to try it, a great English to try because very light, very smooth, a good English blend to start off on. Okay? Boswell's mild English. Let me see. Here's another one. JM had a dog before it died, one of the dogs he had, and he named it Titus. Titus, I believe that dog has passed away now. He's got other dogs now. But a good blend. I got this one in July of 18, and good blend. Most of Boswell's blends, I'm going to show you a couple that aren't, but most of their blends are kind of milder and mild to medium as far as aroma and and that type of thing. But some of your bigger hitters is Magnum Blend by Boswell. Magnum Blend. I got this in 22 of August when I was down at the store. Here's one that I acquired when I was down there. In fact, I got Magnum and I got this one. Here's one that can be a little heavy. A little bit as far as, and this one's called Military Force. Military Force. And that's what's left of that one. And we got this one the same time I got the Magnum. But here's the all-time favorite everybody seems to like if you're an English smoker, and that is, drum roll, Northwoods. Boswell Northwoods. A more heavier hitter, should I say, for English. Very good English, like I said. All these Englishes and American Englishes that I showed you guys are all good. I haven't had a bad English. You just got to get used to the different smell and aroma. A lot of your ladies may not like the smell of the room note with English because it's a little bit stronger. Kind of gets in that cigar. I don't like cigar smell, or I don't like English smell pipe. I don't like pungent, heavy hitter, Maduro cigars or whatever. But all these blends, I think you'll find you can't go wrong with any of them. If you're just starting out, you might want to do the mild English from Boswell. You might want to do the Distinguished Gentleman, the Cary Grant from Kramer. One of those that are just a little lighter. Presbyterian wouldn't be bad. But here again, everybody's taste is subjectional, right? And so just want to go over these. That basically wraps up my blends for English and American English. It's going to wrap up my tobacco series today. But I'm sorry it took me so long getting back, guys. I've been dealing too with my boo-boo that I had on the treadmill a few weeks ago. Thank you for those that have inquired about it. And Ethan, thank you, buddy, for a prayer shout out on your Piper's Care. And it was funny, wasn't it? It didn't feel funny at the time, but I told my church about it, and they went in hysterics. I don't know what it is about the preacher getting busted up. They all laugh about it. But anyway, it's getting better. I went to the doctor last week, and she checked it out and said, "Yep, yeah, you got a shiner." And she said, just put some castor oil on it, wrap it up with saran wrap, for about 20 minutes at a time, about 2 or 3 times a day, or you could use coconut oil or whatever, because my leg bruised all the way down about 5 days later, and it was in my heel, going into the heel of my foot, and it was all the blood was bruising. She said, well, yeah, everything runs downhill. She said, you realize there's no need to have to drain it or anything. She said, because really there's probably nothing in it. It's just swollen and just, clotted, Now she said, now if you start getting pain in your calf in the back, you could have what they call a deep vein, I call it stromboli, but it ain't that. But anyway, she said, now, you might want to get attention on that, because it could be a blood clot. You don't want the blood clot to move into your lung or into your heart. And then eventually you see death. I go, well, that's good to know. Let me write that down. And you got to know my doc. But anyway, she's a sweetheart. But I said, no, I ain't had no problem with that. She said, no, everything looks good. She said, it's just going to take time, Wade. She said, these hematomas like this, she said, you might be looking at this thing still at springtime next year. By March, April, May. She said, it still may be slowly going down, but they don't just heal up. I talked to a buddy of mine at church, and he said his son got one on his head. Must have got nailed with a baseball or whatever, softball. And he said that thing took about a year to really fully go down. So this is my first one in 63 years. So, it's a first time experience for Bass Piper. But anyway, everything's looking good. And back on the treadmill. And of course, one of my deacons, he wanted to be funny with it. He said, look, preacher, when you go back on the treadmill, if you need my hunting harness, I'll let you have it and use it. That keeps me in the stand in case something happens, I don't fall out. You can hook the harness. Or I said, yeah, I hear you. I'm going to look like a complete idiot in the gym. I said, no, man, I don't need that. I just got to make sure that I hit that button like I should. And I hit the button. I just didn't hit it hard enough. And with my tunes on and grabbing all the stuff to clean, I didn't look down to see if it was running. Automatically it was off to me. It was done and gone, man. So anyway, we finally got this video done. But still losing weight, still doing good on the carnivore. Well, I've been cheating since vacation. Me and Miss Bass Piper has fallen off the wagon a little bit with the carbs, and we got to get back on. We gained a couple of pounds on vacation, but I think we're able to get this stuff back off. And but it is true, guys. When you get off your carbs, do not go back on the carbs, because it's just like going back to alcohol. It only takes one drink to be right back in the alcoholic setup, or now the carbaholic setup. And usually for Bass Piper, it's soft drinks. If you go out now, you don't get your unsweet tea, you don't get your water, you're getting Cokes, you're getting Pepsis, you get right up to the door and go, I'm ordering me an unsweet tea. Waitress comes to the table, I'll take a Pepsi. That craving is real, man. And this is what's got us handcuffed to our health problems and our overweight problems. And so it's like you got to go through a reboot. And so me and Miss Bass Piper's been going through a reboot the last couple of weeks as we were on vacation. But we'll get there. We've lost a good amount of weight. I'm holding about 35 pounds off right now. I want to get another 35. And I'll be a whole new me. When I'll come on the video one day and you'll go, where'd Bass Piper go? And and she's doing good too. And her metabolic panel came back really good for her. So, you get there and you fall off the wagon and you say, okay, we've come too far to screw this up and go back. So let's get our mess together. So I'm back on intermittent fasting. It's about 9:30 here in the morning on Thursday morning. So I don't eat till 11 o'clock. My window is from 11 o'clock in the morning till 7 at night. And then from 7 o'clock to 11 the next morning, there's no eating. Now you can have black coffee, unsweet tea, or water. You can have those things to drink during those times. Just can't have no food, any carbs or anything. So I've got to get back on my cycle. And with the carnivore part, we've been kind of more what they call dirty carnivore. And I think I've told you, carnivore has 4 different levels, types. The really strict carnivore is called the lion diet. And that's where it's just meat, salt, and water. That's it. Meat, salt, and water. That's all you have. And the cool thing about the meat is, guys, you can eat all the meat you want. You can eat meat till you puke. That ain't going to really affect your weight much because it's all protein. And that's the cool thing. You can eat stuff. You're looking for something. What can I eat without gaining weight? Really, a lot of weight. Fry up some bacon. You know, get you about a pound or 2 pounds of bacon. Get you or mama to cook it up. Put it in a little Tupperware container. And you'll have your bacon already pre-cooked for your breakfasts in the morning if you have eggs. But if you get hungry during the day or you're at work, you know, put you about 8 or 9 strips in a Ziploc bag and chew on it. It's like jerky, you know. Just have your bacon. And so if you get like a craving or something while you're getting through the craving process. But we were doing good. The cravings had gone. Everything was going well. I think I told you I could go eat at 11 o'clock. I'm not even hungry at 5:30 when I get ready to have supper. I mean, you know, I might get a growl or 2 in it, but nothing major. You don't even think about it once you come off the cravings. But anyway, doing good on that, guys. And so it's been about, oh my goodness, it's been 31 minutes. So I'm going to get on off of here. But that's the American English blends for bass piper. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed the tobacco series. I didn't get into all the ins and outs and technicalities and all the stuff. But just want to let you know what I liked, what I didn't like. Englishes, they're okay. Generally across the board. You got some a little more potent, a little bit more campfire-y, charcoal-y, so to speak, than others. But other than that, you know, you might want to go outside in the garage to smoke them because of the smell. It's a little bit more pungent than an aromatic, of course. But anyway, until we meet again, relax. Have a pipe. Or your stogie. And don't forget the many blessings of God each and every day. Hey, since we've been on, we've had an election. We got a new president. And buddy, is he going full throttle. So I hope we see in America turn around for the best. But that's my belly button opinion. Don't shoot the bass piper. I'm a Trumpster. But thank God some prayers were answered. You know, in an election, one side wins, one side loses. We had our loss the last 4 years. Now we have our win. And so we just got to get that other side to just, hey, calm down. It's going to be okay. We had to. Right? But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Okay, you guys take care. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.